Veronica Harris Show. I am your host, Veronica Harris, and I have with me today what are you today?
I'm your co-host, Gregory Harris. I'm not really going to be doing a lot of co-hosting today. I'm going to be hanging out a little bit today and learning from Mr. Holloway.
Okay, well, he also mentioned our special guest today, Mr. Alonzo Holloway, whom we're very excited to have with us today. And we don't like to too much tell the story of our guests. We like our guests to tell our audience about themselves. So without further ado, we're going to jump right in. And Mr. Alonzo Holloway, tell our guests about yourself.
All right. Thank you very much for welcoming me here today. I really appreciate it. And I'm a Washingtonian. I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I graduated from St. Anthony's High School, but I also played high school basketball for John Thompson Sr. at St. Anthony's High School for 3 years. And John Thompson Sr. was my coach. And so over the years, we had I think we lost 5 games in 3 years when I was at St. Anthony's High School because we had such an awesome team. So I just feel good. Modesty. And then so happened I was the point guard.
Okay, so you run the show.
I run the show.
Yes.
Everything came through me.
All right.
I had a 6'10" coach that used to beat me up and give me the blues all the time, but it still had to come through me. So I really enjoyed that, okay? Yeah. So as we started moving on playing basketball, I played with a lot of great guys like Marilyn Wilson, Jonathan Smith, Donald Washington. All these guys went Division I basketball. All of us went Division I basketball. Some of us went to Georgetown. Some of us went to North Carolina. The guy Dane Anthony went to the University of Illinois. Ern Long, myself, Marilyn Wilson, Gregory Brooks, and Jonathan Smith. We all went to Georgetown.
Yes, so let's talk about that. Because I went to Seton Hall.
Yes. That was
Beast of the East. Okay.
Okay.
Beast of the East, so a fellow Big East person. I cannot lament the demise of the conference, of the Big East Conference. But did you see the Big East? Well, the Big East Conference, it has evolved. It has changed.
Right.
But it'll never be the way it was when your coach stalked the sidelines.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back a little further than the Big East, okay? At the time I went to Georgetown, we was independent.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't the Big East at that time.
The Big East.
Right.
Dave Gavitt had that was 1972.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So we went back, and that's when they was coming about with the Big East years ago. But we was independent, and my first 2 years at Georgetown, I played as a freshman and a sophomore, and I was a point guard then, but so happened another. I left Georgetown and went to the University of Rhode Island.
Okay, so you were a Ram.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I was a Ram, and then I played up there. I had to sit out 1 year,
right.
And then after I played up there, I was the player of the year 2 years back to back. A little short guy like me, 135 pounds, 5'9", had a lot of fun up in Rhode Island, but I ran into Dave Gavitt quite a bit because I worked at his camp at Providence, okay?
Right, Dave Gavitt just started coming.
Right.
He was the first president. He started the Big East.
There you go. So I worked at his basketball camp, and then when I was graduating, that's when they started the Big East. Okay? When they started the Big East, that's when everything started blowing up in the Big East, and that's when John Thompson started getting a lot of good recruits and a lot of good ball players and a lot of young fellas that came in from the Washington, D.C. area and all over the country wanted to come to Georgetown.
Well, let's go back to your high school years. Now, St. Anthony's. Now, I again went to a school, a Catholic school in the area. I went to St. John's Baptist de La Salle. Gregory also went to St. John's before he went to DeMatha.
Oh, we'll talk about that DeMatha store. I'll talk about that DeMatha store shortly, too.
Okay. But I didn't know that St. Anthony's, and I guess I should have known, but it's kind of slipped my mind that St. Anthony's had the high school, but you said John Thompson coached there at some point. And you guys were 37-1, if I'm not mistaken?
In 1972, we was 37-1, and that's the year we were supposed to play DeMatha, okay? We were supposed to play them in the summer league, but John Thompson and Morgan Wooten didn't see eye to eye at that particular time. So by them not seeing eye to eye, we were supposed to play up at Jelliff because they had a summer league up there. So we never showed up because John didn't want us to come up there to play. So he sent our JV team up there to play the Mather, you know. So during the regular season came around, both teams were like rated 1 and 2 in the country at that time. And we ended up being number 1 in the country because we ended up being 37-0, but we never got the opportunity to play the Mather. They never played us. We never played them. And that was a coaching thing. It wasn't the players' thing. It was a coaching thing. So the two coaches, they was striving themselves. And then, come to find out, both of them applied for the Georgetown job, too, back in 1972. A lot of people don't know that.
Morgan Wooten wanted He wanted to coach the Hoyas?
Yes, both of them applied.
College.
Back in the day, and John Thompson ended up getting the job back in the day.
I tell you, learn something new every day.
There you go. And that goes back when I went to Georgetown as a freshman, and I started as a freshman along with Jonathan Smith, Marilyn Wilson, Billy Land, and Gregory Brooks. So my first year at Georgetown, we was like 13-13. It wasn't the Big East at that particular time, so we did beat Seton Hall. I just want to throw that across the table. You know.
Was that a burn?
Yeah, I just want to throw that across the
read?
table.
Yeah, you went to Seton Hall.
Is that a read?
Somebody went to Seton Hall.
Oh,
okay. So we did have a pretty good team. The team that really beat us bad that year was Maryland University. We played Maryland University on Channel 7. That's when they had John Lucas, Tom McMillan, Lynn Elmore, and I forgot the other guy's name. But they beat us by 16 out of College Park that day.
Okay.
So they had a great team. So then we was playing against other great teams. Like we went to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame beat us when they had Shoemake, Adrian Dantley, and all of them. Okay. So that was another 16-point loss.
Well, Adrian Dantley, we know he went to DeMatha.
Right.
He graduated DeMatha.
Right.
So you played. So you had a lot of historical intersections with people.
Right.
It seems, as far as basketball is concerned. But also, which we did not know, which we learned, is that you were an NCAA referee.
Yes, I was NCAA basketball official.
We won't hold that against you.
No. Hey, well, let me just explain this to you. I refereed high school basketball for about 7 or 8 years, and then one of my buddies just talked to me and said, you need to go to camp and become a real-time, big-time official. So I went to the CIAA campus, which cost me $400, and we had about 100 kids, 100 guys trying out to get into the CIAA at that time. And I was one of the ones that selected to be into the CIAA at that particular time. So I was coming back home really cheered up, pumped up because I got into the CIAA, and then I started working the CIAA, and then as I worked there for...
Wait, let me start you. But for those of us who don't know, when you say CIAA, because we know, but just for our listeners and our viewers, what does CIAA mean?
CIAA is College International Association, Basketball Association. So I can't remember it all, but I worked in that conference for 30 years.
The CIAA, that's the...
that's Division II
basketball,
and all
like
the schools.
Virginia State is in there.
Bowie State, Virginia
okay,
Union, all of them. So even Hampton and Norfolk was in there back in the day.
Right.
So all
they
of them
came out of that and they moved up.
Then I worked that conference for about 5-6 years straight, and then I got chosen to go into the Big East by a guy named Mr. Art Hallen. And I worked the Big East for 5 years while I worked in the CIAA. So as I worked the Big East for 5 years, you know, the word got out that, oh, that's Cheese, that's Alonzo Holloway. He played for Georgetown, so you know what they had to do then, right? So I moved on out of the Big East and started working in MEAC.
Oh, the MEAC.
The MEAC. I started working in MEAC, and I stayed in the MEAC for the duration time along with the MEAC, and then I worked the Southeastern Conference for 7-8 years. So I was working in CIAA, the MEAC, and the Southeastern Conference.
So the SEC?
Yes.
Whoa, so you've been a lot of big conferences.
Right, so I was moving around.
You like all that traveling?
Back in the day, all the traveling was good. I enjoyed myself, okay? All the traveling was good back in the day, you know, so that kept me going, and it was a good salary. It was a good salary.
It's a tough job, though.
Tough job, but one thing about officiating that people have to learn, you hear and you don't hear, you see and you don't see. And what I mean by that, you can call me everything, and I can make all the bad calls that I have to make that you may jump on me about, but I didn't hear you.
Right.
All right? If I missed the call, I missed it, so I didn't see it. All right? So then the bottom line of it, after the game, what happens at the end of the game?
It's over.
It's over, and plus I still get paid, right? So you got to remember that part about the game. So you keep on going, and
good salary too.
Very, very good salary. In the CIAA, when I first got in, they was paying like $250 a game. When I first got in the Big East, they was paying like $800 a game.
Ooh.
And then when I got in the
that was back then.
Right, and now they're paying $3,000 a game. Okay, a game.
You in the wrong profession.
And we talking about the Big East and the Southeastern Conference, Pac-10, ACC. They pay $3,000 a game right now. Okay, and you get your check when you walk in the door. How you doing, sir? My name is I'm the athletic director. Here go your check.
Yeah.
Your game haven't even started yet.
Ooh.
Okay, so You get all of that when you walk in the door. And then when you work the CIAA, you get your check once a month. And when you work the MEAC, you get paid the 1st and the 16th. But at that time, you know, all the money don't rise to the top a little bit.
But you got to work, you got to go to those camps.
Yeah, you have to go to camps and clinics.
Just so everybody listening, you can't just be good at refereeing.
No.
Everybody don't make a good, you think you just go out there and run up and down and make calls. You're going to miss so many. Refereeing is tough.
Refereeing?
Referee at the camp?
Yeah, we
No. Let me tell you
what, Gregory and I were refereeing at Maryland University.
Okay.
And I was at one end. Gregory refused to move from his end. First of all, Gregory would not move from his end of the court.
Okay.
So something was. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what Gregory's gonna do. I've been working this camp before.
Okay.
So this was Gary Williams' camp. This before he left it.
Okay.
So I'm the only female there. So I'm working. I'm doing my thing.
Right.
He gonna sit there. He not gonna move at all. So I'm going up and down. All of a sudden, something happens on his end of the floor.
Okay.
His end of the floor. And I said, Gregory, all of a sudden, he's like, whistle out. He's like, he's like 5.
Okay.
He's like, but he's standing there like, Gregory. And all of a
caught
sudden,
watching the game.
the whistle's like, doop, doop, doop. I was just like, Gregory.
All right, well, let me give you a little bit of history on refereeing and what officials supposed to be looking at and what they supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to. Okay, one thing about refereeing, you have to know the rules.
Yes.
The rules is very, very important. You have to study. You get a test every year, and you only get a test in one conference. Each conference gives you a test, and when you get to the NCAA conference, like the Big East and Southeastern Conference, you go to a large clinic, and they give you a test. And you have to pass that test in order for you to be able to move forward.
Can I shoot you a rule right now?
No, don't shoot me no rule right now. Don't rule me right now.
Three referees got it wrong. I don't know the rules.
Okay.
I know.
Step one, know the rules.
Okay.
I asked 3 referees. None of them know the rules.
This kid with a flag on the field.
Okay. All right.
I know we're about to come up against the break.
Right.
So let us take a break right now.
On the break.
And we're going to come back.
Okay.
And then he's going to shoot you the rules.
Okay. All right.
We're going to do that?
No problem at all.
Okay. We're going to
on the break.
No, we're going to come back on the break. We're going to put him on the test. Because you know what? Because he like that. Okay. He got it like that. He modest man.
Okay.
He the point guard.
He the point guard.
It had to come through him.
It had to come through me.
Okay.
It had to come through me.
All right. So we're going to take a break, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Welcome back. So now Gregory is going to ask our guest, Mr. Alonzo Holloway, the rule. Let's see if you know what the rules are.
So I was playing a pickup game, and
this ain't even a real game.
the situation happened.
But it ain't real.
And I was like, well, that's not a call. That's the wrong call you made.
Well, what happened?
So then he's like, yo, that's the right call. You can't do that. I'm like, no, that's the wrong call.
Hold on, what
I know the rules. Yeah, I know the rules too. And then he asked somebody to co-sign it. They co-signed it, but I was like, I know the rule, but I'm gonna drop it. I dropped it, went home, looked up the rule. Called my buddy that's an official. I said, this what happened. Ain't this the rule? He was like, yeah, that's the rule. He actually knew the rule. The next two officials I called didn't know the rule.
Okay.
So what happened?
What happened?
All right.
What happened? Okay.
So if a shot is taken and it does not touch the basket, the shooter's the first to make contact with the ball again. Is that a call or is it not a call?
It's a no call because it was try for the basket. So by being a try for the basket, you do have the right to go get that ball. All right? But you can't dribble.
Right.
Okay?
You can get the ball.
But you can't dribble.
Everywhere, everybody's calling that a travel.
It's not a travel.
It's not a travel.
Okay.
It's almost like a self-pass.
That's exactly.
I was about to say self-pass.
But
Self-pass is a violation.
But it was a attempt for a shot. The whole key is it was an attempt for a shot. See, and as the referee watches, we're watching, is it an attempt? Is it an attempt for the shot? You went through, you followed through, it didn't hit the rim, you run and get that rebound or get it, you can grab it, but you can't dribble. You can even go back up with it, but you can't dribble.
You can go back up with it?
Yep.
They know you go back up with it.
Yeah, you can go back up with it.
Now, that's illegal in street ball.
All right.
Now, you going to try that in the game, you going to have everybody there. You going to have everybody.
Okay. So, with that...
You was right. You was right.
Okay.
Most people say
passed the test,
Hey. Okay. And one of the things is about officiating, like I go back to say, is about the rules. The other thing is mechanics. Okay. And what I mean by mechanics, when you hit your whistle, you have to know what is that? That's a foul. Okay. You open up your hand, that's a violation. Okay. So you have to do these things because if you don't do them, you make yourself look bad, you make your partners look bad. You have to learn how to use both of your hands when you're officiating the game. And the reason why you have to learn, because you never want to turn your back to the players. You always want to be able to keep the players in focus. So if the ball is coming back this way and I got 10 players right here, I'm a boom, bam. That way my hand is going this way, my eyes are still watching the players, and I know the ball went out on blue and I'm pointing in that direction whose ball is supposed to be. Because the ball gonna stay there.
Ball, you man.
Okay. Yeah. The other thing is, good mechanics all the time.
Know the rules, good mechanics.
And don't rush to make your call. Always, your whistle always supposed to be a little late. All right.
Really?
Yes, because a lot of times people, what's the word I want to use? I'm pre-calling the game because I'm seeing that it was a foul. It may not have been a foul. You know what I mean? So I'm blowing my whistle and it hasn't even happened yet. You know? So what you want to do, you want to see the whole play through. And once you see the whole play through, then you want to be able to make your call after you see the whole play through. Okay? The other thing is, y'all, offensive player, defensive player. My job is to get in the middle of this between the two of y'all. All right? She has the ball, you're the defensive player. Who am I watching? Am I watching her or am I watching the defense?
You're watching the ball.
No, I'm watching the defense because what normally happens, the ball gonna go around you and the defense player normally reaches in, smack down, or trying to do something. Only way you begin to watch the offense when the offense started going by you or you're in a good legal defense position and I push you off and I'm gonna give you an offensive charge or push off on that. Okay? So you watch the defense. Okay. You always watch the defense first because the defense is always the one initiating the contact first. Okay? So once the defense initiates the contact, you automatically know. Now, if offense initiate the contact, basis is an offensive foul. Okay? So a lot of times when guys go into the basket, they protecting themselves. They shield off the big guy, you know, and they shoot. I'm left-handed, so I was used to doing that. Shielding off the big guy with this hand, laying it up with this hand. If you don't hit them too hard, they don't knock you to the floor. The referee kind of like hold the whistle for a bit and may not give you a call at all. Offensive foul or no foul at all.
Wow,
okay?
So we're learning that not only, because we always preach the fundamentals. We're always talking about the fundamentals of everything. We can't.
Right.
So we're learning that even at your position as a referee, there are the mechanics, the fundamentals, if you will.
That's it.
Gregory said footwork, positioning, like positioning on the court, if you're going to have here, the players, you know, where you need to be, if you're the ref, where you need to be in respect to everybody else, and that's really important.
And along with that, all three officials can't watch the ball.
No.
Okay? So each one of us have our area on the floor.
Right,
if
right.
I'm the lead official on the baseline, I'm watching everything that goes off on the baseline or anything that happens or anything coming to the baseline, okay? The trail official out front, if the play leaves him and coming to me as the lead, it's no longer the trail's play anymore, it's the lead's play, okay? But if the ball go out of bounds on the trail side, on this sideline, that's the trail's call. It shouldn't be a double whistle. It should be one whistle, it should be the trail, because that whistle is the trail. If the ball go off on the baseline, that should be the lead's call, okay? Shouldn't have a double call. If you the C official over there and the ball go off on your baseline, that's your call, okay?
And that was something that always kind of like, because I refereed when I was in high school, you know, and Gregory, he did
Score clock.
He did score clock and
okay.
everything. That's how we made our money.
Okay, good.
And
I did the same
the
thing in
parents
college.
The parents used to always get on me, and I was like, and I mean, I wouldn't say nothing to them, but I'm thinking, like, that's not my call. I was like, I don't know why they getting on me. That's not my call. You know, that was not my call to make. And then even if I did see something, if I happened to see it, I had to swallow my whistle because it wasn't my call to make.
There you go.
But briefly, what I wanted to get into next is, like, because you've played throughout many generations, the 60s, the 70s, 80s. I mean, you've seen basketball, not play, but you've seen it, you know, evolve.
Right.
What do you think about basketball now as opposed to back? Because they always want to talk about with the advent of the three-pointer, like Steph Curry, like how he's changed the game. And I do believe he and Golden State, the way they play the game, it's changed. But really, has it changed that much?
Well, the officiating changed the game. It's not the players that change the game because they don't call as many fouls. They call fouls.
So it's the rules.
Right. Because back in the day, in the younger days, older days, you could play defense, you can touch, you can push, you can do all of that. Now you can't touch a player almost. And all players now, defensive players, they play back off the offensive guy. Back in our days, your coach told you to push up, play defense, move your feet, you know, and keep your hands down, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The officiating, he said, changed. But remember now, the game is what the officiating had to adjust to.
Right.
So, you know, think about Shaq. You know, it wasn't a flop. It was a take a charge maneuver became more prevalent because of players like Shaq.
Because the way he really kind of almost bulldozed.
And the way the game was played, going inside, pushing was taught in you know, the game was taught to push in the paint. Go in the paint, push in the paint. Offensive players with big footwork got to know how to push off and spin and dunk. And guards start putting moves on now. And the rest, they don't even call this no more. They don't call hot hand no more.
Oh, that's hand check.
So, reason why they started calling it though is because people was, you know, using it too much.
Okay. Now, if you, let's say north to south, all right? Yeah. I'm going to the basket going south, and you use that hand, that's a hand check, okay? East to west, I use my hand to touch you here and there, I'm not going to call it. But if you're going north to south and you're slowing me up from getting to that basket, I'm going to call it. Did it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have had a great discussion, and I see you now. You're like, oh, and there's so much we can have, so much we can talk to. But unfortunately, we must stop now.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. But right now, so much time, right? Today's What's Veronica's Thinking. We're talking about time flies when you are having fun. In today's show, we had a lot of fun talking with our guest, Mr. Alonzo Holloway, and our co-host, Gregory Harris. And time went by very fast. So what I'm trying to say to you all is that when you do things that you love, when you do things that are fun, you're going to find that time flies. And because time flies, you have to take the time to cherish and appreciate every moment. Because you're only on this earth once, and YOLO. You only live once. You only get to do this one time. There are no rehearsals. There are no, take-backs, no do-overs. So cherish it and appreciate it. Because when you're doing something that you love, time is going to fly. You're going to laugh. You're going to have fun. And you're going to have great people to be around. So enjoy this time that you have and watch as the time flies. And that's what Veronica is thinking about today. Thank you all for seeing us today, for joining us in. I hope you had a great time. I learned a lot from Mr. Alonzo Holloway. I know you're going to be back for another show, and we're going to talk about some more things. So we definitely appreciate you. And we guys hope you all come back to the Veronica Harris Show and check us out again next time.
right.
Thank you again,
And
Mr.
thank
Holloway.
y'all. I
It
really
was great.
appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It was a pleasure.
Veronica, it was a
Thank
pleasure.
you. It
All
was
right.
fun.
There you go.
Okay.
We got long way.